What's up guys, welcome to new Unreal Engine 5 tutorial. Today we are continuing with the RPG series and we'll continue on with the equipment system. So basically in the last episode we made that we can go ahead and open up the panel, and then we have the slots over here where we'll be able to equip our item or gear or weapon, and then basically we set up a reference image for when our character is going to be in here, etc. So today what we're going to do is that basically we can select these slots, and then we'll have a list of all the items that we have in our inventory, and then if we select it, it will assign into here. I don't know how far we'll go into the system. Maybe we just get into the part when we select it and open up the list, but maybe we get into even when we press it and then it's assigned here. So we'll see, okay? So it's gonna be a very easy video to follow, so let's get started. Alright, so let's go into the equipment system folder, UI, and let's go ahead and open the WB equipment. So we have this here, right? And we have this lots over here. So basically we want to start adding some functionality into this ones, okay? So let's go into the slot, and this is basically the widget itself, okay? Of the edge slot. So basically what we're going to do is select the button over here, okay? And let's go down and let's go into basically on clicked. Okay, let's click the add button. So we'll be subscribing to the event. So every time that we click, we'll do something here. So basically, let me just get these things over here, out over here. And basically what we want to do is that when we click this button, we want, like I just mentioned before, to open up this list with all the items that we have. So first of all, let's actually go into the WB equipment and start making this list, okay? So what we want to do is go in here and basically get a vertical box. It's gonna be right over here, and let's make it a bit bigger, kind of like this, okay? It's temporary. Now, don't worry, this will be anchored in the 000 because later on it will basically place automatically depending where our cursor is in the screen. So for now you can just drag it, for example, in here. It doesn't matter, it's just to edit stuff, okay? This is not the final position of this widget over here. But what we're going to do is go and basically just change the name, okay? So this is gonna be basically the list, items list, vertical box. Items list, vertical box. Make sure that this is tagged as is variable, so later on we'll be able to access it from here. And then what we want to do is create a new slot, okay? A new widget itself, okay? It's gonna be very similar to the other slot, and basically we'll be able to add it over here, so it will be a bit different. So actually what we're gonna do, select the other slot and duplicate it. And instead of being equipable slot, okay, this will be just in general item slot. So let's go ahead and open this up, okay? So now in here again it will be basically with a button and so on. And now what we need to do is go back into the equipment and let's test this, okay? Let's test a bit the padding. So we go into the palette and search for slot. We can go ahead and find our WB item slot, and we drag it inside and we start duplicating. You can see how it will do. So I think this will be pretty good, okay? So for now we'll go ahead and leave it like this, and in the future we can basically go ahead and edit it and so on. Great. So in terms of UI, let's go ahead and actually drag an image, okay, and make it the same, not inside, okay, just next to it. And then what we're going to do is basically make it the same size, okay? And this is just to make things a bit prettier. So let's change the tint to be basically more dark, and then we'll go ahead and go into the color and opacity and put this to be like 0.2 or even 0.3. So basically it has like a background into it, you know? So now we can just put this to be the items list background, and then I believe that, yeah, we can no, okay, we cannot put it inside. So what we'll have to do is actually make another canvas for itself. Just go ahead and get it, and again it should be the same size over here. So this will be basically the items list canvas panel. So we'll go ahead and get the background, put it inside of it, and then the vertical box inside of it. So now we need to get the background and put the position X and Y to be 0, 0, so it will be anchored in the corner here. We'll do the same with the vertical box, position X and Y 0, because now we'll be anchored. So now we have just one parent, so it will be easier for us to go ahead and change everything. And now what we need to do is make sure that the anchor will be basically in the top left again, and then just put X and Y to be at 0, so we'll be there. Now of course right now if we open the play mode, okay, I'm just gonna put this a bit bigger if it lets me. There we go. Okay, and then I go ahead and open the panel you will see here, but we have to disable by default. So let's go and select the panel, the parent. Okay, let's go here and say visibility, if I know how to type correctly. Visibility, there we go. And this is gonna be basically hidden, so it will be basically not visible at the start. So now you will see that if I open it, it's not appearing. Great. So what I want to do is actually activate this panel. So let's go back into our item slot, into the graph, and you remember that they made the on-clicked button. So basically here what I want to do is go ahead and cast to the third person character. In this case, we're gonna go ahead and find the get player character, and then what I want to do is access the this widget specifically over here. So in this case we have a component, okay, and here's where it's saving it. So we want to access that component like always, so we just need to get BPC equipment system, and then get the equipment widget. And now in here we can start accessing the item list background vertical box. Sorry, so I forgot. Let's just go back here to select the canvas panel and also make it as its variable. And now we can go into the background and disable its variable because we don't need it, but we will need it for the vertical box and for the canvas panel. Let's go back here, sorry, not here, but into the item slot, and then we can get the item canvas panel. And now yes, from this long list we can now set the visibility, okay, and basically we'll set this visibility to be yes, basically visible. Great, so you will see that now still nothing happens, and I just made the mistake of making it in the item slot instead of the equipable slot. My apologies. Let's Ctrl X, okay, compound save and go back to the equipable slot, and on here we'll paste it and actually put it. So the equipable slot is the ones here. So I made that mistake, so sorry. But now we press play. If we hit, you can see that now it will go ahead and enable. So this is what we want. Now let's go ahead and put it in the position of the mouse cursor. So let's go back into the equipable slot, just when we instantiate it. And now we can get this canvas panel, okay, and then go ahead and call this widget set widget slot position. And now we can go ahead and put it here. Actually, I believe it was transform. Yeah, set render transform. Okay, so that's just gonna be this one. So now what we need to do is plug it in, right click here and split it. So now we have the translation X and Y. So right click and split it again. So now we have intercoordinates. We will not touch the other stuff. So now we can just get mouse position on viewport. There we go. So now we need to put this over here, and actually we can right click and recombine it and just pass it as a transform. So yeah, there we go, simple. So now you will see that when I go open here, you can see that now the widget will appear, the list, right when my mouse is. We might change the anchor so it's not directly on the corner, maybe it's better in the center. We'll see how it goes, okay? But for now, or a bit upper so it doesn't like go behind the screen. But for now, it's okay for now, okay? So now let's make that if you click away, it actually goes ahead and closes this, because right now it only closes when you close the whole inventory, let's say. So let's go into the equipment main widget. Let's go into the graph and let's go down and do a left mouse button. So when the user goes ahead and clicks the left mouse button, okay, doesn't matter, it will always disable the item list canvas panel. So go and get it and set visibility to be hidden. Now the thing is that we need to go ahead and make a small delay of really maybe 0.1 will be okay, because right now you will see that this will work, because if I open this and I press on any part of the screen, it will go. but I will still have time in order to click and send the message when I have my future slots over here. So let's get into that part, basically adding these slots over there. Great, so what we have to do is go back to the WE equipment, and which again, just close the other ones to don't confuse ourselves. And let's delete everything except the event construct, which is when the widget goes ahead and creates. So in here we'll go ahead and assign all the list of our items that we have. So let's go ahead and cast to the third person character. Again, we'll go ahead and get the player character once again. Okay, let's put this here. And on here we're going to do is access the BPC equipment system. And then here we can go ahead and access, I believe, yeah, it was weapon slots. So this is basically our inventory. This is all the items that we have. Okay, weapons and items and whatever we have. So basically what I have to do is drag this and make a for each loop. So we'll go ahead and go through all the items in this list, and by each one start spawning them, if it makes sense. So let's get this array element and go ahead and break the S slots. Okay, and now we can go ahead and get the item and again break this over here. So now we'll get the data table and the row name. So now again, like always, get data table row and then plug in the row name into here. So make sure you plug in the row name, because if not, it will not consider in the database. In the out row, we'll go ahead and do a break for this time the S weapons, because now we want to access all of the items properties. In this case, we want to get basically the icon and so on the name to basically add it into our slot. So when it finds the row, what we'll do is go ahead and create a new widget. Go ahead and say create widget, and this time it's gonna be the WB underscore item slot. So don't go ahead and confuse yourself with equal slot. No, it is the item slot, the one that we didn't put the functionality. Okay, so the enemy player doesn't matter, but now what we have to do is get the items list vertical box. That's why I said to be a variable. Okay, not the canvas but the vertical box. And then what to do is basically it was add child to vertical box. Okay, not add child but add child to vertical box. Very important. Let's plug this in, and then the content will, well, this will be the widget that we have just created. So you will see that now if we press play, we'll have to pick some items first. So let's go ahead and pick some items here, of course, because now we don't have anything in the inventory. If we open it up and open a slot, you'll see that now we have 3 slots created, as you can see. So it is working. Depending on how many items we have, we are spawning them. Now let's go ahead and make sure that we go ahead and assign the appropriate image into each one of them. So what we can do is go here into the UI and go into the equipable, item slot. Remember, I always mistake between the two. Another thing I want to do is that, if we think of the reference, which is Assassin's Creed Origins, the list is basically more than a square, is of a rectangle. So we have space for the, well, it's really like a whole panel, but it's basically like we have space for the image and also some text. So let's go ahead and do so. So let's get into the size box, and let's say that the width is going to be way longer. So let's see what we can do over here. Yeah, maybe 500. 500 will be okay. We'll see how it goes. But let's do 500 for now. Now this button, what we'll do is basically fill it only to be in a certain part. So in the vertical alignment, it will be filled, but in the horizontal alignment, not. Okay, so actually let's do fill horizontally, but when we add the other stuff, it should fix. So I should be able to drag a text. Maybe not. I can do it in the side. I can do it in the side actually. We can do that for now, but I would not like that now. So actually, let's go in and add a canvas instead of a size box. Okay, let's go ahead and delete this. Okay, we'll delete everything. Let's get the canvas panel, drag it in, and then what we're going to do is find a horizontal box. Let's drag it inside of it. Now let's go and get an image and let's put it inside that horizontal box. Sorry, not an image, but actually an image. And this will basically be the icon. Okay, this will be the icon. There we go. I want it to be in full caps, not in full caps, but the first letter. There we go. So icons, that is the image, and then we want to get a text and put it as a parent of the as a child, sorry, the horizontal box, and this will be, for example, sword or whatever, right? Let's put the size to be smaller, maybe 15, even 10. Yeah, that's a bit better. And you might want to extend this because this gets to here. The sword, let's select the sword. Yeah, it's filling up. Yeah, I think it will be okay if we just well, in the vertical, let's put it in the center, so it'll be center, and then we can add some padding. So let's look at this one over here, and let's yeah, that will not change anything. Let's just go into the padding, and in left, let's put like 20. That's too much. 10. Yeah, 10 is okay. All right, so that should go ahead and work. You'll see that it should update. Now let's go into the graph and delete that click button that we did before, because now it's a bit different. Now we'll still need to add a button in a second. I did remove the animations, there we go. We'll need to add a button in a second, but just to see how things work. Let's go back into the equipment, into the designer, and let's go ahead and extend this a bit so it matches. So I believe it was 500. Sorry about the phone. Let's go into size X, and let's put this to be 500. And now it should be the whole length. Now this will be already a big one, but it's gonna be big. In this one, again, size X 500 and items 500, okay? It should be that width, okay? So we'll see. So yeah, basically we just change a bit the UI, okay? So now if I were to pick some items, let's pick just 2, and I open this up, now we have, okay, it is extremely small. We'll fix it in the future, but basically you can see that we have in this created, okay? And we have this and this and that, okay. Let's go back into our item slot, okay? And what to do is basically change this icon. So make sure its variable is selected, okay? Let's go back into WB equipment. Let's go into the graph, and then when it's basically creating each item, right when we add it into the vertical box, what we want to do is get that slot and then get the icon, which is the one icons. Did I call it icons? Yes, I call it icons. Why did I call it? Yes, icon, okay, one in single. There we go. So we're basically gonna get the icon and then gonna set the brush. Okay, the brush is basically the image. I don't know why it goes like that, but whatever. Now just right click and split it, so we have all of the actually no, just Ctrl Z if you did it, and then just go ahead and say make brush from texture, because we will need to collect a texture, because our icon is a texture. So we can just go ahead and just drag it in, and you will see that it will match. Now the width, I believe it was 125 maybe. It won't really matter as long as there's the same on each both, because it's square, but overall it should work. So if I were to get this 2 over here and open it up and open it, there we go. Okay, it's doing some things weird with the sizes, but you can see that it's working. Now let's go ahead and do the same with the name. So let's go back into the item slot, select the text, and then change these to be the name text, and I'll make sure that its variable is ticked. Let's go back here, and again we're gonna do the same that with the icon, but with the text. Let's get it from the widget that we have just created, and get name, get name text, and then what I want to do is set text, and it's gonna be this one over here. Let's put this, and then we can just go ahead and get the name and just plug it into here, and now it should be assigning the text. So if I go ahead and test this out, I should be able to pick up these items and select I think, and there we go. We're having the icon and the heavy sword, the icon and the wooden bow. So things are starting to work, okay guys? Things are starting to synchronize. So things that we have left to do is basically going ahead and being able to select it, and being able to sign it, and of course fix a bit the transformation of the two. Now let's go ahead and quickly just apply a button so we can click it, okay? So let's go back to the item slot and go into a button and just drag it, and it's gonna be outside of the horizontal box, okay? It's gonna be filling the whole thing. But what we want to do is go into style, and in normal, what we're going to do is go into the tint and put the opacity to be 0. So basically, it's like a button over everything, okay? It's gonna be like a hidden button. Let's also change the name to just be button in general, and make sure that it's variable state. So yeah, instead basically when you're not doing anything, the normal state is going to be invisible. But as you go into hover, go to tint, and yes, this time it's going to be with a bit of opacity. Let's put like, for example, 0.2 or 0.3. Yeah, I think 0.2 will do the job, okay? And then let's go into finally pressed, and let's put it into, let's say 0.5, because it has more intensity as you're pressing it. So you'll see what I just did over here. So if I were to go here, now okay, I need to pick weapons, of course. Let's go here and pick this 2 over here. Let's open up, and now you will see that, okay, the dimensions are broken, but you can see that there's buttons here, and I can click on them. Of course, nothing will happen yet, but you can see that things are working. Now, yes, it is broken indeed, okay, it is broken, but let's go also into the name and just put this to be fill, and just fill, yeah, let's just do that, everything will fill. And let's go down into the justification, put this to be in the center, okay, for now. And then I believe I can do it, yes, I can do a top, let's do 10, yeah, actually that's too much, 10 is too much, let's do in the text 5, maybe 7, something in between. Yeah, 7 I think is pretty okay. So I think the text should be fine now. I mean, I always forget to get the, oh my god, I'm now voting over objects. Let's go ahead and get this, let's put this here. Okay, so the text is starting to be centered, the icon is okay, so we have to also set it on fill, sorry about that. And this should be basically like this, anchored in the left and the left, because if not it will be stretching. So that should be fixed. Again, I forgot to come and get some items. There we go, so now it's fixed. Okay, so we have this one, and the icon's correct and the text correct, and they're overlapping a bit. That's because of the size and stuff. So let's honestly just make this bit smaller. Let's make it 7 for now, so it will be bigger. Okay, so right now it's being small, but it should be bigger. Okay, don't worry about that. All right, so let's go ahead and fix real quick the size. So let's go into the horizontal box, and the first thing I want to do is change the size Y to be 100, and then let's change the size X to be 200. Okay, so we'll have a bit more of enlargement. Another thing I'm going to do is go and set the button and change the anchors to be in the whole screen, and then go and change the offset right and button to be 0. So now it will be extended. Let's go into the text. Okay, let's let the justification in the vertical to be in the center, and change the top padding to be 0. So we barely in the center, and we'll change the size to be around 15. Let's go into the icon and do the same in the vertical alignment, and then change the image size to be 125 by 125. Now it will actually start matching what we did. And that's pretty much it. What we have to do, you will see I did a test over here, so let's go ahead and delete this. But if now I go here and I get some items, right? Let's get us this one and open up, and then open the box. Now there we go, we are having things good. Okay, we can go ahead and start seeing them in a proper way. So that's it, guys. If you found the tutorial helpful, I would really appreciate you could like the video and subscribe to my channel. In the next episode, we'll go ahead and continue with the equipment system. We'll finally set up that you can select the item and it will be assigned into the actual slot. Okay, so we'll pass in the image and some properties, and then we'll go ahead and also have try to have time to make the character appear in the middle of the screen. And then in the next episode we'll start basically accessing the properties, not only from UI but going into the character itself, so we can actually start passing the static mesh into the equipment and so on. So if you like the video, subscribe. If you like the video, and subscribe to my channel. Join my Discord servers. You can talk with our devs, share your progress with your games and so on. Follow me on all my socials, Twitter and Instagram. And now, yes, with all that said, bye bye.